Right now at 11 News at 4, an I-Team exclusive, breaching privacy.
We have learned the federal government is investigating cyber attacks at more than a dozen Maryland businesses. Those data breaches are affecting more than 100,000 people over the past 2 years.
I-Team reporter Tali Taylor joins us now live with the exclusive. And Tali, you spoke with an expert in the Maryland Attorney General's office.
Yeah, that's right. So the director of the AG's identity theft program tells me that, for these Maryland businesses, the state is seeing a more than 700% increase in data breaches, and that's since 2013. Maryland residents the I-Team spoke to had heard some things about the risks of being hacked.
I have a couple of friends whose businesses were affected, business accounts hacked, things like that.
And what's at stake if you are hacked?
People going through years and years of litigation due to, rent payments, etc., things like that were stolen and they didn't realize.
But they were surprised to learn about the scale of cyber attacks in Maryland and the number of people they affect. The I-Team has learned the U.S. Office for Civil Rights, or OCR, has ongoing investigations into 16 Maryland businesses for data breaches over the past 2 years, affecting more than 100,000 people. For the OCR to investigate it, the incident must involve breaches of unsecured protected health information affecting 500 or more individuals.
It really is testimony to just how valuable PHI is to the hacker community.
PHI, or personal health information. Among other things, Harbor Labs specializes in helping healthcare companies secure their IT systems. And its CEO, Nick Uran, says hackers are seeking two things when they go after personal health information.
Important medical information, diagnostic information, medical history, history of your treatment, drugs you've taken.
If your medical provider can't access that information after a breach, Uran says,
it could actually impact the way that I treat you as a patient, and I may miss something critical.
Uran says hospitals in particular can be targets. These types of data breaches, they can involve these devices, is that right?
Right. These types of devices, depending on how they're protected, could be the entry point.
While older versions of these medical devices were more simple, Uran says newer models can have Ethernet and wireless connections. He says once hackers gain access through these devices, they can access the rest of the network. The second reason hackers want personal health information, Uran says, things like social security numbers, dates of birth, and addresses.
This is all the ingredients for identity theft, and in the hands of a hacker, there are a number of different, very serious financial crimes that they could commit.
That's where Jeff Carberg comes in.
Suddenly we're getting the number of data breaches per week that we used to get in a month.
The director of the identity theft program in the Maryland Attorney General's office isn't kidding. In 2013, Jeff Carberg's program received 181 reports of data breaches. In 2022, that number jumped to nearly 1,500 reports. That's a more than 700% increase.
So it's seen a huge increase over the years.
He says in most cases, if a Maryland company has a data breach, they have 45 days to notify the affected people once the internal investigation is complete. Carberg's #1 piece of advice to anyone concerned about identity theft: freeze your credit. He says it's like locking your front door at home.
You have the key to let yourself in or out. You have the key to let guests in or out. And a credit freeze blocks potential lenders or creditors from accessing your credit files. And it's really effective at preventing what's called new account fraud.
Coming up new at 5, some of the Maryland companies that were impacted and how federal investigations can produce results. For the 11 News I-Team, I'm Tali Taylor.